it's time to turn our attention toward insurance talk. Sonia's here.
Good morning.
Let me ask you this question before I get into it.
Okay.
As we have been discussing this all morning long, I need your opinion.
Okay.
Would you eat something out of the back of somebody's vehicle on a truck stop parking lot?
I think you already know the answer to that. No, I would not. I think that I know you're talking about those tamales, right?
Yes.
I think that goes within the category of scary meat.
Scary meat.
Yeah, if I don't know what it is, I'm not going to eat it.
I don't know what was in it, but it was really good, but it was very hot.
Yeah.
Kind of hot. But okay, so you're out.
I'm out, but you knew that. You know, if so you would eat it and you'd be like, that's hot, I would eat it and be in the hospital a week. So.
Well, I mean, so far we've only had one female said they would do it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have anything to do with the heat. It has to do with I'm not sure where it came from.
Becky got on to me a while ago on the phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because she asked her what I was thinking. So, all right, well let's talk a little insurance now. What we're going to be talking about this morning is something very, very timely, and it's distracted driving. And you know, a lot of times we think distracted driving, we immediately go to the cell phone. But you know what? There's other things out there that are worse than the cell phone as far as distracted driving.
Well, yeah, as far as number of accidents that are caused, the number one type of distracted driving is eating.
The dashboard diners.
Right, which I think that's kind of odd because I've never done that either. But that, you know,
well,
that
happens.
Yeah,
sometimes.
sure. But that's, according to all the statistics, that's the number one type of distracted driving that causes accidents.
I know a lot of people have jobs where they have to go from one place to the other and they have to grab something to eat between jobs, stuff like that. That's where a lot of that comes from.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. But the state of Texas, and this has to do with number of miles driven, so even though we're a larger state, the numbers are average for the number of miles driven. We have a higher number of fatalities than the national average, quite a bit higher. The national average is 1.11 deaths per 100 miles driven, and in Texas it's 1.29 miles. And every year, at least 100,000 accidents are caused in Texas by some type of distracted driving. So I thought we'd just talk about that. I know Wichita Falls recently put in where you cannot use a cell phone while you're driving, and that includes hands-free, I believe. So that's kind of what I think that went through yesterday, and so we thought we'd talk about it today. Again, there's 100,000 traffic accidents in Texas every year that involve distracted driving. That's a lot, and so I think it's something people should really think about. And obviously, like Rick said, the first thing we think about is using our cell phones. That's the first thing, and that is dangerous. It's very dangerous to text, email, Facebook, etc. while you're driving. And that also includes, though, you shouldn't be eating while you're driving. You shouldn't be fixing your hair, putting on lipstick, that kind of stuff while you're driving.
I quit doing that.
I'm glad. Yes. I was wondering about that. If you are driving and using a navigation system, whether it's on your phone or in your car, reprogramming that while you're driving is dangerous. And a lot of vehicles that won't work while it's in forward motion, but some it still does. So that's important. And just things like turning up your radio, turning it down, changing CDs if people still listen to CDs.
Well, I will tell you about the radio thing.
Yes.
Here's what you do. Is that when you leave your house, put it on Q94.7, turn it up, and leave it alone.
Well, that's what I do, obviously.
Yes.
For real. I'm not even kidding. That's what I do. But yeah, very good point. So those are just some things. And I think that, you know, the best way to end distracted driving is to anything that takes the driver's attention away from driving is dangerous. So, you know, really when you're driving, you just need to be driving and looking around at all the things going on and watching for other vehicles, checking for speed limit signs, checking for, you know, all that kind of stuff, and leave all that other stuff for when you're not driving.
You know, one of the things that's come up lately on the situation is people talking about their children being in the car with them, backseat kids. You know, you got 2, 3, 4-year-olds that are going to go off, scream, holler, throw fits. They're going to get out of their seats or get out of the butcher seat or whatever it is. Instead of trying to drive and put them back into the seat, pull over.
Yes, please, pull over.
And fix that situation, because we've had situations in the last few weeks where people have accidents due to the fact that their kids were goofing around the back seat.
Yeah, and, you know, back when our kids were little, which they're adults now, but those car seats were really easy to get out, and now they're not. They have them buckled in pretty good, but those booster seats, when they get older and they can sit in the booster seat, those are really easy for them to get out of. And of course, you know, you can teach your children that they have to stay buckled in, but they're children and they're going to try that sometime. And so, yes, please pull over, make sure those kids are buckled in, that they're in a legal, safety approved car seat, booster seat. When they're old enough to not be in a booster seat, make sure that they and everyone else in your car is buckled up. That's so important. And I know I don't like wearing a seat belt, but you know, I do. You have to, because you don't want to be that statistic.
I can remember when I was a kid being in the back seat of the station wagon, and my mom would have that giant wood spoon that she would start flopping around over the back of the seat trying to straighten us out. I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, you get straighten kids, but you know, I mean, there's lots of things that can happen as driving. There's a lot more other people. And I'll tell you another thing: if you're an inexperienced driver, that's the last thing in the world you want to do. Is I see a lot of younger drivers going down the street and these little two-door cars looking at their phones or looking at an iPad or something like that. That's the last thing in the world.
Yeah, and they are really, I think that the state of Texas, Texas Department of Motor Vehicles is doing a really good job. They've got a program, you know, aimed at teens about how, you know, and they actually, it's very tragic and sad, but they have cases where they have the last text someone sent before they died,
right.
Or the phone call that they were on. And, you know, it's not to scare kids, it's to educate them. And I think that, you know, hopefully we're going to raise up a generation that understands that when we were learning to drive, there was no such thing as a cell phone, let alone texting or anything like that. We had other things to distract us, like, you know, changing out 8-track tapes and that kind of stuff.
I was fumbling through the back seat for an 8-track, yeah.
But, you know, I think that education is the key, because we just don't want to see anybody get hurt. And that's the thing. You want to, when somebody leaves to head somewhere, whether it's 5 minutes to work or 5 hours on a trip or wherever they're going, to get there safe. That's the whole point of all of it.
And you may be asking, why are we talking about this? Well, it's pretty simple. You know, the insurance angle on this is that if you do have an accident, you have to use your insurance. You've got situations where it could possibly go up or you could get canceled. There's a lot of different things out there. The thing is, you don't want to use it if you don't have to. And distracted driving is one of those things that is very common nowadays. And just be super careful. And if you do need insurance advice or you do need help and you do have an accident, you need somebody you can call.
Yeah, and again, at Bryan Insurance, we don't want to see anybody get hurt in an auto accident, but also when we talk to our clients about ways to keep their insurance rates down, it's preventing claims. And the best way to take care of a claim is for it to never happen, or an accident is for it to never happen. But yeah, we would love for you to give us a call. Our phone number is 940-549-2525, or you can come visit us. We're on the second floor of the Sierra Bank building in downtown Graham. Or you can visit us on the web at www.bryanins.com.
Get it done at Bryan Insurance. You'll be glad you did.